Welding. This is episode number 69. I'm Paul. Thanks for joining me. And today we're going to start a little multi-part series on building a lockbox, strongbox, personal safe, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be built out of 1/8 inch, 0.125 mild steel. We're going to be TIG welding it. Now the bottom part we're going to make out of these 2-inch by 6-inch pieces that I already had cut for another project. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to weld 6 of them together. For the sides, I have this 3-inch by 1/8 inch by 12-inch pieces cut. And we'll be putting that all together. So to start with for today's episode, what we're going to do, we're going to start with the bottom, and we're going to V-groove prep all these pieces, get them ready, and get them welded up. Let me get my gear on, and we'll be ready to go.
When I first got into welding, one of my instructors told me that you would spend most of your time grinding and prepping metal. And man, he was so for these 6 pieces, kind of like a puzzle, you have to figure out which of the long sides need V-groove, which of the short sides need V-groove. For instance, on the lower right side, you need a V-groove on the inside long side and inside short side. For the middle piece on the same left side, you need V-groove on both long sides and inside short side. For the top piece on the left side, you need a V-groove on the inside long side and inside short side. Then for the top right, you need a V-groove inside long side, inside short side. Middle right side, V-groove on both long sides and inside short side. Bottom right, inside long side, inside short side. It's not hard. You just have to figure out which ones you're going to do. And then
Alright folks, here we have all of our pieces ready. You can see I've cut the bevels, or ground the bevels in each one. We'll tack that up and we'll get that welded together for the base. We're going to clamp everything to make sure we stay nice and square.
Alright, I've got everything laid out here. If you ever wonder what that little half circle outcropping on my table is for, well, that's what it's for. It's so that I can clamp things down there and get them tacked in real nice, real good. This is the Eastwood TIG 200 we're using here. I've got a 2% lanthanated 3/32 inch tungsten. That's a 3/32 inch ER70S2 filler. I've got its pedal set for a max of about 110 amps. And at the rate it's taking me to tack this, that's not hot enough. So I do adjust that in the further issues here. I like those little clamps I'm using to hold the tacks in place. They work real nice, just quick clamps. For a nice little groove like that, I figure what the hell, I'll just do a lay wire technique here and everything should be good, right? Start on that tack, get it flowing, get it wet, then move it along, keeping a little bit of pressure on that wire to keep it in the leading edge of the puddle. Again, we're going to let the torch melt the edges of the metal into a puddle. The puddle melts the filler metal. The filler metal also helps to keep the puddle cool.
so that you don't burn out or burn any holes through anything. So keep that in mind. If you look like you're getting too hot, add a little bit more filler metal. You can always grind it out later. Alright, now with the short pieces, or the long pieces tacked together, I decided to start putting the end pieces together. I've got everything clamped down here real good, and I cranked up the amperage to about 170 max on the pedal for these tack welds here. When I do a tack weld, I want to hit the pedal hard. I want it to melt quickly. I've got some filler metal in my hand, but I'm hardly even using it. This is melting the edges together real nice. Now that clamp there on the left, watch this. Maybe here? Yeah. Anytime you can find a spot to rest your hand to make yourself more steady, you're definitely going to get a better weld. Look how short that filler metal is. Hey, when you're welding at home, every dime counts, right? If you were doing this at work, you'd be throwing them little stubs away, telling your gopher to go get you some more. But at home, that stuff costs money, so use it till I can't hold on to it anymore. And if you wonder why I'm stumbling around all the time looking like I'm drunk, I can never find the pedal. Once I flip my hood down, I'm like, okay, there's the pedal. All right, I know where the pedal's at now. Put my hood back down. Well, I don't like the look of that. Obviously, that tack didn't look good to me, so we remelted just a little bit. Move on over here to the last tack. Get myself set in. Where's that damn pedal at? There? No. Oh, lift up the hood. Look for the pedal. Oh, okay, here's the pedal. Well, maybe I'll move over here. Did I find the pedal this time? Ah, yes, there's the pedal. Melt that baby in. On to the next one. Alright, now that it's all tacked up, we're welding it together. You're watching it in double speed here because, frankly, I can't stand to look at myself that long. I can't imagine any of you can either. I've got this clamped in one corner, and then I tacked it in the other three corners, trying to keep it as distortion-free as possible. However, those of you with an eagle eye or a flashlight, because the flashlight tells all, will notice there in the corner by my left hand, that tack has seemingly popped off already. And that by itself there is the mark of a bad tack. So, despite all my best efforts, we are going to have a little bit of distortion going on here. That's what they make rosebuds and big ass hammers for. Now I was using an 1/8 inch filler metal there. It just really wasn't getting down into the groove as much as I want. So what I did here is I'm going to switch over to a 3/32 inch filler. Allow me to get down into the groove. You know, get down in it. Get down in it. Okay, I won't do that anymore. You can see I'm using the dip technique. Move, dip, move, dip, move, dip. Looks like I know what the hell I'm doing when you watch it at this speed. Although I'm sure there are those that would disagree. Right, Big John? Alright, if you think the last one was fast, watch me go on this one. This is at 4 times the speed. Look like I'm sewing it in there, don't I? 3/32 filler again, everything's going pretty smooth. Now, I did have to stop between the first pass and the second pass to grind my tungsten. I'm not saying that there was a contamination or anything. I'm just saying, you know, had to be done. Switching tungsten there because switching filler there, I ran out. We'll get this welded out to the edge here real nice and copacetic. Then I didn't like the look of the hump in the middle. So I thought I'd try and melt it down a little bit. Not that it matters, because I'm going to hit this whole thing with a grinder and make it smoother than a prom queen's thighs. But, yeah, let's say, yeah. More torch. Kind of like more cowbell, right? Look at that distortion there. Man, am I going to have to get a BAH, a big ass hammer, to walk on this thing. Checking it out, looking good. Alright, here it is, the pure unedited version of what we just did. Now this is the long point I started off with right here. I started out using a 1/8 inch ER70S. It was a little big to get into the gap, so I switched to a 3/32 for the last ones. Had to come in here and make a little mistake. Fix a little mistake. And as you can see, I wanted to make sure I melted clear down to the ends. Now what I did is I tacked that to the table there, had a clamp there. Wanted to try and keep it a little flat. And you'll notice right there that one of my tacks busted loose. So, we'll have to get out the rosebud, heat this up, and beat it into submission. But that'll be for part 2, because that's all there is for part 1 today. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. And I'm looking for a locking mechanism for this. So if anybody's got any ideas, please leave a comment. And until then, I'll see you next time.